Hey folks, I'm Rosie. I'm a beneficiary of the RPS Enterprise Fund in association with Harriet's Trust. I'm a percussionist and a handpan player and an educator. I came from a musical family. My parents met singing in a choir, but I started off playing a little bit of drum kit, a little bit of recorder, but I wasn't really taking it seriously until I got to age 14, where I joined the orchestra at the back. Classic thing, they gave me a triangle and were like, just hit that, and I just realised I'd found the thing I loved. I loved that music, I loved making it in such a massive group of people, and I loved playing percussion. So comparatively late for some classical musicians, I came to music at 14 and just really carried on with it, kept on with it. Started joining the county youth orchestra, went to university for music, and then went on to Guildhall. While I was studying orchestral percussion, I was walking around Brick Lane and I heard a sound of something. I just didn't know what that sound could be, and it was someone sitting cross-legged on the floor playing this weird instrument. And I was like, what is that? That's magical. And that was a handpan. That's the first time I heard a handpan. I had to ask him, what is that? Where did you get it from? And at the time it was so hard to get your hands on a handpan. But slowly I managed to find a maker who was just making prototypes at that time. That was my first ever instrument. And I kept playing it and I've been in love with it ever since. So the project I'm working on with help from the RPS Enterprise Fund is building up a handpan education system. So I was so lucky to get a scholarship to go and do a postgrad in percussion, which helped unlock so many things, so many amazing things from the classical world. But loads of people that come into playing music don't have that opportunity. They come in as amateurs, they come in as older learners, or they come in, everyone starts as a beginner in some way. So I really wanted to make sure there was a really friendly, approachable, simple way of understanding the handpan. It's such a new instrument. It was only created in 2001. So it's really not got that history of pedagogy, of etudes, of scales, of technique. And the way that I play is something that I developed for myself, and I know that that's something that fits my hands. It's borrowed from tabla technique, it's borrowed from Middle Eastern drum technique, it's borrowed from all sorts of different techniques, jumbled together in something specifically handpan. And I want to make sure that I can share that with people, as well as, you know, crotchets and quavers and harmony, because there's so much that goes into making a fantastic player, and then empowering people to improvise or to work and collaborate. So I've been building up a YouTube channel, which is free for anyone to go along and have a watch of, with my thing called Handpan Fundamentals, which moves through different steps of learning. And I'm developing a tablature system as well, a way to write it down, which is so interesting because it's such an unusual instrument. Everyone's got their own instrument, so finding a way to universally write things down is a challenge, but I want to make sure there's a way of notating the things that we talk about as well. So alongside the YouTube channel, there's also the exploration of what the handpan can do. Because it's so modern, it doesn't have a place yet in an orchestra or in a jazz combo or in a pop band, but I really think it could. I think it's such a unique sound that it should be heard by everyone, everywhere, all the time. So it's been a really exciting strand with help from the funding. I've been able to have R&D days with various musicians from various disciplines, and that's been really useful and really interesting because we've tried some things out that haven't worked, and that's fine, but we've also tried some really exciting things, and some of those are available to watch on YouTube. And I'm looking forward to creating a record or an EP of some of those ideas at a later stage. So being a trailblazer has meant so much to me. It was just a little project that I was doing alone in my bedroom, exploring the handpan, but it's really, as well as the funding, which is incredible and really practical, it's added a sense of legitimacy to what I'm doing, because I feel like other people are genuinely interested and they want to hear what the explorations lead to. So the handpan is such a special instrument because it's handmade, hand-hammered from one big sheet of metal. Each of these little dimples, maybe you can see the actual hammer blows that shape and tune each note. So it's made a very time-consuming way by hitting it, hearing it, and hitting it again. But the main thing that makes the handpan really lovely is this note in the middle, the ding. That is what the whole rest of the instrument is tuned to. So that's an E flat in this case. So even when you're playing the other notes, you can hear the resonance in there. And we've got some more notes on the bottom, and it's hollow inside to let the sound resonate. The handpan can play melodically, but you also have the ability to play chords, to play harmonically. As well as sort of percussive sounds of this tack, and even sometimes like a tack like this, and a sort of bump, boom, percussive. But one of the reasons why I love to play handpans and tongue drums is they sound really lovely, and any people that hear that kind of want to come over and have a go too. And I think that there's something about that accessibility of percussion and of just opening things up and letting people enjoy music, which means you don't have to be classically trained or have years of experience, but you can just dive in and start to make a lovely sound straight away. So I think finding the bits of your musical practice that are really accessible and working out how to open that out to other people and let them at least join in that bit, even if the rest of it is less accessible, just finding ways to open it out and let people into the world that we're in. So my vision for the handpan is to see it included in various different ensembles. I've worked with jazz artists and brought it into that setting, as well as classical music places and also the odd pop cover, which is always fun. And I just think it's an instrument that can work well in conjunction with lots of different instruments. In the future, I hope that there are handpan etudes and a legacy of ways for people getting their first handpan, getting it out of the box. They know some steps that they can take. The same way that we have violin etudes and even percussion etudes. There is a way to build a pedagogy, but I think we need to start now and make sure that people have that option, as well as just exploring and playing their own and developing their own techniques. I want to offer people a way in so that they don't feel too scared or overwhelmed or develop habits that might be painful to them. This has inspired me to write my own etudes. They're coming just off the back of working with students, seeing problems that they often run into and things that they need to work through, and trying to string them together into something that's also musically satisfying. So hopefully I'll be coming out with a selection of etudes at some point in the future, both recorded to listen to and also written down using the notation.